There's something sacred about good company. Not perfect people, just present people. People who remind you that you're a human being. People who remind you to rest. People who remind you that all you need to do is be you. People who don't need you to shrink to feel seen. People who don't need you to pretend to feel understood. People whose presence feels like permission. Permission to breathe. Permission to rest. Permission to be honest. Permission to break down. Permission to be a human being. I used to think that friendships were about how long someone had been in your life. And it takes me back to elementary school or middle school. We used to flex about, I've known this person since third grade, second grade, first grade, since kindergarten. We grew up in kindergarten together. You know, although that is important. But the older I get, the more I realize that good company is more about shared heart and not about shared time. It's about people who carry you with intention, people who carry you in their hearts, people who don't forget about you when you're not in proximity, people who choose you with intention and not convenience. Good company is the kind of company that makes you forget how heavy you've been carrying things, but also reminds you to give those things to its rightful owner, which is God. Good company allows you to cry, but good company also wipes those tears. Good company is the company that doesn't let you feel desolate in times of need. Good company is the company that we all need to carry. They don't even have to fix anything. Good company just allows you to sit. Good company will sit with you. And they just listen, they just laugh. And suddenly life makes sense again. Suddenly you're lighter. Suddenly you remember that joy is still reachable, still present, still something you deserve. No, the truth is, God never designed us to walk life alone. Even in scripture, blessings showed up in the form of people, encouragement came in the form of fellowship, direction came through people, comfort came through people. We're not meant to do it all by ourselves, and some of the greatest gifts we ever receive come wrapped in the form of friends that we didn't expect. I can name so many times this year where I've just been chilling and somebody comes into my life. I'm like, okay, no, this is what it is. And boom, they're a blessing. They're a blessing to me, and I thank God for it each and every time because it's not something that I was expecting, but it's something that I needed. And I think a lot of the times we lose ourselves within our wants, when it's never been about our wants in the first place. God knows what you need during every single stage of your life. And He sends those things, and sometimes we lose ourselves within our wants and we forget that the answers that we're looking for is right in front of us. The thing that we need has always been here. And we just need to open ourselves up to that truth. We just need to open ourselves up to that blessing that we receive. You know, and at times we don't even anticipate those things. They just come and they shock you, and it just reminds you about God's goodness all in itself. Good company is a mirror. They don't reflect your insecurities back to you. They reflect your growth. They remind you of who you're becoming, not who you're afraid to be. They always see the light in your life, even when you're stuck staring at the shadows. They remind you that this too shall pass. They remind you that this is not the end. You're just in between your dream. Good company will always continue to carry you, even when you don't have the strength. Even when you don't feel like picking up your 2 feet anymore, they will pick you up and they will continue to walk with you. Good company.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
That's what we did.
So I just signed.
Good company is all around us. Great friends, they make space for your process. They don't rush your healing. They don't shame your questions. They don't get offended by your silence. They show up softly when life gets loud. And they celebrate not just your victories, but they celebrate moments where you sharpen yourself. They celebrate moments in where you didn't think they needed to be celebrated. They show up with smiles and embrace, even when you didn't think that was something that needed to be done. You have a great friend or great friends where you leave their presence feeling more like yourself, feeling like you're allowed to dream again, feeling like your heart has room to breathe, feeling like you have just let go of something that has been tying you down for forever now. The most beautiful part about it is that good company it doesn't arrive glamorously. It's not always in the big moments, the big plans, the big smiles. Sometimes it's just sitting
What you gotta say to the people?
Oh my gosh, get that out of my face.
You're not gonna say nothing to the people?
Sometimes it's, it shows up while you're at dinner. In between each bite, in between each gulp, in between your digestion is where good company will arrive. It's the late night talks that drift from jokes to fears into prayers. Sometimes it's silence, but not the awkward kind, not the one that's being forced upon you, it's the peaceful kind. It's the we're safe here kind of silence. That silence that has been a gift from God that allows you to ruminate and just sit with the people God has blessed. Great friends sharpen you. They sharpen you gently. They tell you the truth without making you feel dull. They correct you without making you feel condemned. They hold you accountable when when you're being delusional. That's what real love looks like in friendships. Not perfection, but presence. Not criticism, but care. And if you're blessed enough to have even one or two people like that in your circle, cherish them, hold them close, honor them, appreciate them, because good company is very, very rare. And great friends are a gift. They're a proof that God pays attention to the details of your life, proof that you're seen, proof that you're loved in ways you don't always recognize. And I'm learning that. And I'm learning that life isn't just about what you do. It's about who you become around the people you hold space for your becoming. May you never ever underestimate the value of someone who shows up with consistency, someone who prays for you without asking, someone who chooses to understand instead of judge, someone who helps you feel at home inside your own skin. Good company makes the good days sweeter. Great friends make the hard days survivable. And both are reminders that God cares about you way too much, about you, your journey, about your family, in order to leave you. He'll never leave you or forsake you. God bless you. Have a wonderful night.